We need to show a presence here with the legislative delegation meetings across the state, especially when we see scenarios like infighting affecting the legislators actually taking our voices and votes into consideration. One thing we're here to talk about is redistricting. Over 60% of Floridians voted for the Fair District Amendment, ensuring equity, accessibility, and fairness in any redistricting process, not bent and contorted over party or race lines. In 2022, we saw both, and we had fair maps, and eventually they were vetoed by Governor Ron DeSantis, and we lost two Black congressional access seats in Congressional District 5 and Congressional District 10, and causing the legislator to move from a 14-13 Republican Democrat split to a 28 Republican Democrat split. These maps were deemed by the Florida Supreme Court to dilute Black political power and were still allowed to pass. We, as communities across Florida, took to the streets and launched our We Draw the Lines tour to bring awareness to the flaws in our maps and the faultiness in our process. As new conversations around mid-decade redistricting are being had, we must be proactive in our approach to protect and uphold the will and voice of the Florida public. Showing up at the legislative meetings is only the first step in a long, hard fight to defend democracy and representation across the state. Right now, you'll hear from some of our representatives representing communities and organizations across the state fighting for other issues that Floridians care about, especially here in Hillsborough. And we'll talk with Harrison Lundy from Voices of Florida first.
Good morning, everybody. I appreciate everybody being here today. My name is Harrison Lundy. I am the Public Policy Director for Voices of Florida. We are a Black, queer, and woman-led organization that is grounded in our love for our communities and our drive to show up for the most marginalized people in the state. One of our first fights that we got into on the legislative level was protecting a person's right to access a safe abortion. We fought against a proposed local abortion ban in Manatee County in 2021, and we brought along countless organizers on that journey. In 2022, we went to the state level to fight against a proposed 15-week ban on abortion, and in 2023, we fought against the proposed 6-week ban on abortion. Many of our members, including myself, were arrested for peacefully protesting the passage of that ban. And in 2024, during the election, we organized under Yes on 4 as members of the executive committee, organizing voters to rally around protecting the right to an abortion free from government overreach with Amendment 4 last year. So I want to be very clear about something. 57% of voters filled in yes next to that amendment. In a normal, healthy democracy, that's considered majority rule. But we are in Florida, and we don't always have the luxury of living in a normal, healthy democracy. Because of that repressive 60% threshold, our communities are now having to navigate a 6-week ban on abortion. And so I hope our lawmakers will remember this as we head into session and as we head into this meeting today. The majority of Floridians are against government overreach. They are against laws that allow our elected officials to be a middleman between a patient and their doctor. In this moment, there are two bills attacking the right to reproductive care that we are monitoring very closely. Senate Bill 164, which many have called the Fetal Personhood Act, would criminalize people seeking care for abortion or a miscarriage. And Senate Bill 166, which puts some of the harshest restrictions of any state on young people who are seeking reproductive care or STI-related care. Both are bills that were filed last year, but were stalled out for a reason. Our communities came together to demand that these harmful bills be voted down and removed from agendas. So we have to understand kind of the national moment that we're in. In Florida, we're not just organizers, we are guinea pigs for what the national administration is seeking to do over the next few years. From banning books to banning sex education to banning a person's right to decide what happens to their own body. It is all in places like the Trump administration and Project 2025. So I can't stress enough the moment that we're in right now. There's an old political saying that goes, where Florida goes, so goes the nation. And for many of our people on the ground, we don't just understand what that means, we live through it every single day. So every session, and especially this upcoming session, we look forward to doing the hard, important work of talking to our legislatures from all political backgrounds, to do what's truly best for Floridians. From our work that we've done to expand Narcan access, to protect our state's children from perpetrators of violence, and to actually address the cost of living, all of that work transcends party lines for us, because we know the people of this state are watching, and we know that they're waiting for somebody to step up and show up for them. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Amy Marie Granger Welch, Deputy Director for Families for Strong Public Schools, and a proud parent of a Hillsborough County Public School graduate. Our message today is simple: keep the focus on students, not politics. Voucher spending now takes nearly 1 in every 4 education dollars, draining resources from public school classrooms without real accountability. The Schools of Hope co-location rule was meant to lift struggling schools, not enable state takeovers of successful ones. We encourage the legislature to take action and fix the loopholes in the legislation that was slipped into the last year's budget at the last minute. We must also protect local funding through property taxes and preserve a professional appointed superintendent who leads with expertise, not political influence. Strong, transparent public schools are the foundation of our community, and they deserve our legislature's full support. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak here. So my name is Dr. Rajagopal Appavu. I am the PhD from the various institute. I am also scientist, AI machine learning certified engineer. So I've been published so many artificial intelligence, machine learning articles, the peer-reviewed articles, various healthcare and STEM journals. So I am here to propose to forward-looking the pilot program for the Hillsborough County Public Schools, because this is AI machine learning education, something vital for at the moment, not only for the teachers and the students, okay, it is everyone that required, okay. So that is what the AI is, something really important, because why this matter is, for example, for healthcare sector, its transformation is massive, because AI-based surgical robots are available right now, and AI-based clinical decision support system already exists. So they are not fiction, okay? They are here now. So, for example, if the student has been graduated from the K-12 and are ready to go for jobs, so especially if they want to go to healthcare jobs, so they need to have the AI foundation, AI literacy. So that's what I'm here to help the students, county schools, to give the AI education for the K-12 from the, especially from middle school to high schools, because it is our teachers and students are not prepared for this shift. Okay, so I request everyone to prepare for this transition. Otherwise, our school system and the students, they're in the big risk. Okay, so already U.S. Department of Education has been implemented, integrating the AI literacy in the school systems. I think it is much required as far as the Department of Education and the federal government rule. So we have to implement AI education in our public school systems. So this is for my information to pilot at least minimum 5-10 schools in the Hillsborough County about the AI literacy and education would be, it's going to be a big game changer. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. Appreciate it.
Community advocate in Hillsborough County, and I am also a student of public policy. I am here today not only to represent my community, but also represent the voice of African Americans here, not only in Hillsborough County, but abroad. When I came here to this meeting, I would love for legislators to feel what's going on in the climate. There are families being affected by policies that are going on right now. And being a student of public policy, one of the main things that we focus on is what's fair and what's doable. There are lives here that are affected by the policies that are being created right now. And the policymakers that are here today are a part of that. And what I want for our community to understand is that the laws that are being passed right now are having negative effects on our family. We are in a food desert right now. We are dealing with things that are, hey, it's causing harm to our family. So with these things that are going on, I want us to focus on what is fair and what is doable. There is a lot of things in the US that are causing us to not get the things that we need. So these policymakers that are here today, I want them to get back into the community. We think that policy making is about being in the office. It is not that. You need to get to the families. A lot of these policymakers sit inside of their office. They don't go to the schools. They don't see how children get back and forth to school. They don't see how redistricting affects District 5, where I live at. There are times where I can't call my policymakers because they're not available. So being here today, I would love to see what is it that you can do for me, not what I could do for you, not what my vote can do. What is it that you can do for my community? Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Onita Holman, and I will be speaking on the lack of affordable housing in Hillsborough County. Hillsborough County's government rescinded the $10 million annually, the annual allocation for affordable housing in mid-2025 after repealing the Hope Affordable Housing Ordinance, which had required that this amount be dedicated each year to the county for a housing trust fund. Hope is the Hillsborough Organization of Progress and Equality, and it has helped to create more than 1,000 affordable units across the county. The commissioners who supported the repeal cited budget flexibility concerns and the belief that future boards should not be bound by the fixed $10 million. However, in this county, we see that the average cost of an apartment is now $2,000. We also see that the average wage is around $16. So you are really going to make things worse for the seniors, those who are the least in the county, those who are struggling. So we need to make a way for that money, some of it, to be put back into that fund so that Hillsborough County does not price out the average citizen. This cannot be a county where only the rich live. We have to have diversity. We have to have equity. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Kimberly Overman, former county commissioner for Hillsborough County. I'm no longer in office at the moment. I'm a resident of Hillsborough County and have lived in this region for over 40 years. I have watched, now that I'm raising my grandson going to our public schools, I've watched schools be funded unequally. I've also watched us put policies into place that make it very difficult for not only our families to be able to send their kids to school and go to schools in their neighborhoods, but also where they can't afford to actually live in the communities that are so important to the vital economy within our community. We have parents now that are afraid to come out of their homes because of ideology and because of divisions in deciding that some people matter and others don't. It is critically important that we actually pay our teachers well enough that they don't need to use the food pantries in their schools. We need to invest in our communities where we're actually opening up opportunity for everyone in this community. Redistricting continues to divide communities and restrict access to the ballot box, but also to restrict the voice of all the people in our community. It is critically important that we look at how we manage the finances in the state of Florida, how we manage the finances in Hillsborough County, to recognize the valuable partnerships that we have with nonprofit organizations that support our communities, our residents, and the resources that government deploys in order to invest in our infrastructure. We need to get back to the basics of taking care of the people who vote for you and make sure that we're actually listening to the people who live in this community. Those that live here choose to be a Floridian for a reason. We live in paradise. Let's not let division, politics, redistricting, and unequal affordable housing to destroy opportunity for the children that are raised here and love being here in Florida. Thank you.
I want to thank everybody here that was able to speak. This is us, not only here in Hillsborough County Legislative Delegation meeting, but across the state, at every legislative delegation meeting, demanding attention and demanding empathy to the vote of the Floridian public. We need equal access to not just redistricting and not just the ballot box, but we need equal access to be able to ensure affordability, protect our environment, access healthcare, sustain public education, and pass equitable laws. We will continue to hold legislative delegations accountable to these priorities all throughout session in Tallahassee, and then eventually in the ballot box in 2025 and 2026. So we look forward to seeing y'all at the next legislative delegation meeting, and now we'll open up for questions.
You will hope to see coming out of this meeting today?
Yes, as many of the speakers before me have expressed, we are looking to see attention to what the voter actually cares about. We look to see deep concern for where we are headed as a state. As a previous speaker shared, Harrison shared, we see that what happens in Florida happens across the rest of the country. So we need to be the pilot for standing up for ourselves in the times of authoritarianism, in the time of division, and the time of suppression and oppression of democracy, to be able to build the people power and the voting blocks that will stand tall and strong amidst that turbulence.
Forgive me if I'm mistaken, but is there a public comment section in this meeting? Is anyone here going to speak on what we have spoken there?
Everyone here will speak at a public comment.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for being here today.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.